Man, I don't know. I think definitely the most remembered one is my block in the Super Bowl that freed Willie Parker to go down the sideline. I think that on the biggest stage is what everybody remembers. Me personally is probably lots of little things that are insignificant to most people and not exciting, but just learning the game, picking things up as a young guy from the older guys, from the guys that have been there before. Those guys, those moments are career defining for me. Learning from those guys set me on a path to where I am right now.
Thanks. Congrats again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Maya. Next up, Nate Davis.
Hey, Alan. Nate Davis with USA Today. I asked Hutch about this yesterday, but just what does it mean to play guard and actually get the recognition that you finally are getting as a Hall of Famer? And then also, like, just if you could reflect, like, you had a Pro Bowl year at left tackle too. Did you ever consider making a switch to the dark side if being a left tackle is indeed the dark side? Thanks.
It is a little vindication playing a position that's maybe looked over a little bit, especially in the Hall of Fame process. When I came into the NFL, the philosophy was, generally speaking, that you could plug anybody in at guard. The tackle that doesn't make it out as a tackle will just slide him in and he'll play guard. And, I think Hutch and I kind of helped redefine it a little bit to where it is now, to where we need some guys in here that, are big guys that can move and use them in space and kind of bring a little more dynamic action to the game is kind of what I think the two of us brought to the game. My year out at left tackle was the easiest year I've had on my career, on my body. You're never on the backside of a player when you're a guard. But when you're the left tackle, you're on the backside of a run play, you really are on the backside. You're sealing a guy off, or you're chasing down a linebacker and sealing him off. I never felt fresher after that season of left tackle. So I still give my left tackle buddies, give them hell for stealing all the money out there. They're just out there cheating. So it never crossed my mind to stay out there. I wasn't having near as much fun as I was at guard.
Thank you, Nate. Brian Batko.
Hi, Alan. Congratulations. How are you?
Good. How's it going?
Good. Thanks. It's funny to look back on and laugh at now, I guess, but you had that famous quote when Ben made his first start for the Steelers as a rookie that you weren't necessarily excited to go to work with some little young kid out of college. How crazy or surreal is it now to see your former quarterback at 39 years old, 18 years in, and now he's the one who's about to play behind a bunch of unproven guys on that Steelers O-line with DeCastro gone and maybe even taking snaps from a completely new rookie himself?
Yeah, Ben and I had a little short discussion about that moment when I was doing some coaching during summer camps a couple of years back. And, he sees where I was coming from at the time. When I said those words, they were just really out of passion for the team and not really Ben himself or a slight against him. It was just about where we're as a team, where we're trying to get. And, how many teams lose their starting quarterback and it's an exciting moment was where I was coming from. But, it's great to see him continuing on and playing and doing it at a high level and leading and being the leader that he's become is pretty special to watch.
Thanks, Brian. Scott?
Scott Ravelet with the Advocate in Baton Rouge in New Orleans. Alan, I want to ask you about your college influences. What in your college career, or who helped set you up for the success you had in the NFL?
Coaching wise, it was Hal Hunter for sure. Hal pushed me beyond my limits, held me to higher standards than the rest of the group, and really pushed me to become more of a player, more of a complete player, not to rely on just what I had already brought to the game, but what I could continue to bring or bring down the road as I continued to develop. definitely him, and definitely Kurt Hester, the strength coach at the time, really just pushed me beyond all physical limits that I had ever seen or been near, and just really sucked the life out of me as far as just pulling everything he could out of me to make me a better athlete, and definitely continued with his philosophies throughout my career.
Thank you, Scott. Caroline?
Hi, Alan. Caroline Pineda, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. I wanted to ask about a couple of anniversaries that are coming up this fall. One is 20 years of Heinz being open, and the other is 9/11. What do you remember from that season and like the emotions of playing following 9/11?
Man, just the break and going through that as a country, and then the moment of actually being able to come back and play, and for people to kind of move on just a little bit in this moment, this little sanctuary of a football arena, a game, and kind of celebrate that we're all still here, and we're still going to keep fighting and striving on, and to kind of be in the middle of all of that, right? You're down there on the field, and you're in the middle of all that, and all that emotion is going on, was definitely a heavy moment for me going through that day.
Thank you, Caroline. Jeff?
Hey, Alan, Jeff Hathorn from KDK Radio. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You had mentioned some of the people you had learned from. What was the impact in your career, and what did you learn from working with Dermontti Dawson early in your pro career?
Man, just what a guy. I mean, what a guy, what an athlete. I was never the kid who grew up and pointed at somebody and said, I want to be that guy. That's who I want to be when I grow up. And man, here I am. I'm a grown man. I'm in with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I get a couple of weeks around Dermontti, and I was like, I want to be this guy. I want to be what he means to this organization. The things he was able to do, I still don't understand how he was able to do it. I can remember a story where it's a summer training. We're just in there in Three Rivers going through it, no pads. And the job was for Dermontti or I to pull. And I was like, no way can Dermontti get this guy. I totally ignored what he had said. And I blocked down on a 2 technique, which is just inside of me. Coach yells at me, tells me to get out of there. We get down on the line of scrimmage again. I do the same thing. No way Dermontti could get this guy. He's totally a man removed from him. Same thing happens. Coach just comes over there just yelling at me. And I was like, Coach. And he's like, just go. And I was like, all right, I'm just pulling. And sure enough, I pulled the next time, and I look back there, and Dermontti's not only got the guy, he's just totally whooped him and sealed him off. And I was like, all right, hands off. Dermontti's got it from there. And that was an eye-opening day for me, watching him do that. And from that point forward, I've always had my eyes on him.
Thank you, Jeff. Jim Wexel?
Hi, Alan. Jim Wexel, Steel City Insider. Hope all's well with your family.
Everybody's good. How's it going, Jim?
There we go. All right. Good, man. Hey, there's a guy the Steelers just picked up. I'm sure you've been watching him a long time, Trey Turner. Give Steelers fans a scouting report on what to expect. And, I'd just love to hear your stream of consciousness thoughts from your pro career, whatever you got. And, the Dermontti stuff, the left tackle rant, you've perfected that by now. It's beautiful.
Man, Trey's a hard worker, and he's definitely brings a passion and a little veracity to the game. And I look forward to seeing him pull that out in the black and gold and kind of get back to that. Kind of the off year that for whatever happened, I lost track of that out there in San Diego, I believe. But I think it's a good thing, exciting things for Trey. Rants from through the years. Man, there's a bunch, man. Just loving Pittsburgh, man. I just love it. It's home, and it's always great to get back, and I can't wait to get back again now that we're moving around the country a little bit here. But just great. Love me some Pittsburgh.
Thanks, Jim. Joe Rutter?
Hi, Alan. Joe Rutter with the Pittsburgh Trim. You touched on it earlier when you were asked a little bit about that Ben as a rookie and that comment, and you talked to him a couple of years ago about it. Were there some hard feelings on his part, or was it more just kind of you guys joking around?
He understood where I was coming from. We didn't really dive too deep into it, but I forgot the situation we were talking about. But it was basically how he was the older guy in the group now, and he's the guy that's trying to pull some young guys along and get them up to his level. And he understood. He just said, "I realize where you were coming from now that I'm where you were."
Thanks, Joe. Mark Holmes.
Yes, Alan, congratulations on becoming head coach of Cox High School.
Man, who we facing here, man? We got all kind of guys I'm lined up against right now.
That's actually the 77 Cowboys, so forgive me.
Okay.
I'm wearing the gold here. I'm wearing the gold.
Okay.
You started your career, and congratulations, of course, on getting into the Hall of Fame. Guards don't usually get much love, so it's great to see two of you guys going in. Starting your career out with the Cardinals and the Jets, and then going to the Steelers, what was the change like for you between those two franchises, and then ultimately being with one of the greatest franchises in football?
Well, starting out with Pittsburgh, just a great family organization, and just perennial powerhouse coming in to go from there. And it's really just not even the aspects, but when you spend 10 years of your life in one place and an organization, that it just becomes part of your family and part of your DNA and your blood. And to leave that was hard. It really was. And then you have to kind of reestablish yourself. It's not the same. The people in your new locker room haven't been walking around the locker room hearing the stories about you or witnessing it in person. So you've got to kind of like reach out and create that bond, those bonds with those guys. It's not as easy as just transplanting everything from one team to a new team. So, doing that from Pittsburgh to New York, and then from New York to Arizona, you have to step out of your shell a little bit and be more of an outgoing person, and kind of bring some of your skills to the table that maybe you took for granted at your previous team. I sat down with Coach Mangini when I first got to New York, and he, I can't remember who he spoke to, but he was telling me a story about how he had a similar kind of conversation with a guy, and it really helped me out a lot. It helped me to really understand the situation that I walked into.
Thank you very much, and congratulations, and hope to see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Ray Lee.
Hi, Alan. Rayleigh here with KDWN 101.5 FM, 720 AM, the talk of Las Vegas. First off, I want to congratulate you on being inducted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. What an honor. My question for you is, with such a successful career, what were the things that motivated you to be the best version of yourself that you could be?
For me, it was the everyday things, the everyday battles that kept it fresh for me, the week to week, not looking down the road at the big picture, but just always trying to improve on who I was, that each and every day when I went and stepped out on the field or in the weight room, that there was a better version of me that could come off the field, that I could continue to work and get better. And that's really what's always pushed me or motivated me was trying to be better, because regardless of who you're going against on that field, there's always somebody better on another field, right? So you're always practicing against somebody who's better and always trying to improve. And it's a never-ending battle until it's all over.
Thank you, and congrats again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Alex Fleming.
Alex Fleming, Florida Sun. Congratulations, Mr. Faneca. How are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm stuck at work. That's why there's no picture, but I wasn't going to miss this. Mr. Faneca, I guess my question was, you're a Hall of Fame guard. There's not a lot of love for guards or linemen, if you will, in the Hall of Fame. You and Hutchinson this year, it's beautiful. Could you explain to us how dark the trenches can get?
How dark they can get. Man, lots of things are happening down there in the trenches. There's nothing probably darker than being at the bottom of a pile fighting for a football that a fumble that was loose. Those are the real dark times when all kinds of things are happening. But it's playing on the offensive line, defensive line, especially on the inside, is a relentless game. There is no front or back side of a play. You are always at the front of it. You're always working, and there's a there's an unforgiving toll on your body for being at the forefront of every single play for an entire game, every practice. It just is, and that's just the way interior linemen are built, right? That's what we're good for. That's what we do. But it's definitely it's a taxing and fun, and it's a battle of wills down there. Moving a man against his own will is it's been told before by many an offensive line coach in the past, is what it's all about.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Alex. Nick?
Hey, Alan, congratulations on your Pro Football Hall of Fame induction from Pittsburgh Sports. Now, I really wanted to ask you about Hines Ward, because you picked him to be your presenter for the Hall of Fame. What did Hines Ward mean to you, really, and why you picked him? And also, do you think Hines Ward, who was a semifinalist this year, what do you think about his candidacy for the Hall of Fame? Do you think he should be in Canton?
He will get in Canton. It's just a matter of time that I feel. So he is a Hall of Famer. It's just a matter of when he gets in. The reason I picked Hines was, he and I had so many conversations and so many discussions over the times, and just really bonded over those moments that we grew up together. We came in together out of college together and grew up in the Steelers organization together, bringing the team along to where we were. And we just had a really good bond, and that's kind of where it ended up, man. I just wanted somebody that represented me and kind of the same mentality. Hines and I have a lot of the same characteristics and mentalities that got us where we are very similar, and that's how we became who we are as players. And that meant a lot to me in picking him.
Thank you, Nick. Chris Daly?
Hey, Alan, congratulations on becoming a Hall of Famer. And when you were my age, 15 years old, you experienced your first seizure on Christmas Eve. Can you describe the moment you had your first seizure, and then the eventual diagnosis of epilepsy, and that whole time period in your life when you were unsure whether you could play professional football?
Yeah, so I had a seizure. Did not know it was a seizure. Christmas Eve, my freshman year in high school, and I was out at my great grandmother's house for a big family Christmas, and it really was like a nightmare. I kind of wandered around the house crying and just really upset, and had a couple of them, and it really was kind of like a nightmare. Wake up. Adults and parents are kind of concerned for what in the world was going on in the middle of the night, and I'm just, man, it's Christmas morning, let's go. It's time to go. So everything was fine, and then I had another one and another, and by that time my mom had already had the doctor's visits already set up. So but it took a couple months to go through all the tests and figure out everything, and to finally get the diagnosis. And it was kind of wasn't a dark time, but it was definitely a weird time of not knowing. This is all pre-internet, so there's no way to find out information near as easy as we have it today. So when I finally got my diagnosis and got to go visit with the doctor, and we had list of questions, of just general questions of daily activities and daily things, until we got to the football part and the sports aspect. But in particular football, because we're putting on helmets and we're running around and tackling and hitting each other with our heads. So that was on the top of my list. And he came out and said it so fast that I could keep playing. I had to ask him again. I was like, Doc, you know what football is, right? And he shook his head. I know what it is, and you keep playing and chasing your dream. And I took that and ran.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
We have time for 2 more questions. John Shear?
Hello, Mr. Faneca. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Well, first of all, congratulations. My question for you is, what means more to you, the Super Bowl win or the Hall of Fame induction? What means more to you?
Oh man, it's I think it's the Hall of Fame induction, man. It's the elite few that get this opportunity to be in the halls of Canton. Or it's too big. The gravity of it still hasn't hit me, and it has hit me to a point, but it hasn't completely hit me. But in the moment, you're chasing a Super Bowl for years, and it's such a team award, and there's no expectations for it. You're still lining up to play the game. You got 60 minutes to go before you know whether you're winning it or not. So it's such a finite thing that it happens so fast that the celebration and the excitement for that one and your teammates and everything is so extraordinary. Versus the knock on the door. The excitement is huge, but you're expecting it a little bit and anticipating it, whereas you don't get that with the Super Bowl.
Thank you, John. The last question is going to go to Rick Watson.
Hey, Alan, how are you? First of all, congratulations, man, on the election. Final question here. You mentioned how tough it is in the trenches and being able to play that position. You only missed one game in your career, which I think is an amazing record. Can you just talk about how you're able to keep your body upright for so long and to play that many games at that position?
A lot of luck, man, a lot of luck. On top of the luck, there is a conscious effort to finishing plays and getting your legs away from a pile. And there is a consciousness, of effort of doing those types of things. And you don't just stop and have your guy blocked and stop. And that's all of a sudden when the pile just catches up with you and, you get an ACL. So there's a little bit of a conscious effort that goes into it. And the other side of it is all the off the field activities, the chiropractors, the stretch coaches, doubling up and tripling up on seeing those guys on in a week. So taking care of your body off the field is probably the biggest thing. And I used to always try and teach that to the young guys coming in that, you're not always going to feel as fresh as you are right now when you're, 21, 22. You're going to have to keep, that side of your football game has to increase the older you get.